This is the Harry Loomis Show.
Welcome back to the Harry Loomis Show. Right now, it is Monday, October 7th. I'm recording this at 11:14, the night before the NHL season gets going. In North America, we had two games in Prague this weekend with the Devils beating the Sabres. So for 30 of 32 teams, the NHL season starts on Tuesday. We got three games. ESPN's got a doubleheader with the Blues, Kraken, Bruins, Panthers, Chicago Blackhawks, and Utah having their first game. That's going to be the slate Tuesday night. Cannot wait for hockey to get back going. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do my award predictions, and I'm going to set my own ground rules. What I'm going to call them kind of hipster, off the grid picks. So, I'm going to limit myself. I can't pick the obvious guys. I can't pick Cale Makar for the Norris. I can't pick Connor McDavid for the Hart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick guys that have not won the award before in their career, and they could not have been a finalist in 23-24. So, for example, the Vezina finalists last year were Connor Hellebuck, Thatcher Demko, and Sergei Bobrovsky, meaning that I cannot take any of those three guys, but I also can't take a guy like Igor Shesterkin or Linus Olmark because they are also former Vezina Trophy winners. Get it? Got it. Good. So we're going to just go through the list here. Art Ross is a little bit different, obviously, because it's not an award that there's a finalist. It's just the highest number. Obviously, Nikita Kucherov had the most points last year, so he won that automatically. So I'm going to still stick to my rules. I can't pick him. I can't pick Connor McDavid, obviously, because he wins that just about every freaking year. If I didn't set my ground rules, it would probably be him that got this award, but I'm going to go with Nathan McKinnon. Just missed the Art Ross last year, 140 points he had. Nikita Kucherov beat him with 144. McKinnon, in my opinion, second best player in the league, and it's not particularly close, especially among forwards. I don't see any reason why, if he's not healthy, he's not going to have another monster season. I think the Avalanche are due for a little bit of a bounce back. They've kind of had a tough last 2 years since they won the Stanley Cup in 2022, getting bounced in the first round and bounced in the second round last year. I could see them being, I don't want to say a sleeper team, but I think if the pieces fall into place, they could be a very serious threat in the Western Conference once again. So that's going to be my pick. We're going to move over now to the Calder Trophy. And again, this one kind of, obviously, I can't even make a pick. I can't even really limit myself because obviously you're only eligible for the Calder Trophy once unless it's the COVID bubble. So really no limits to this one. I'm going to go with Matvey Michkov for the Flyers. I think if there were no issues, concerns with him playing in the KHL, he would have easily been the second overall pick last year and would have been NHL ready in 23-24. Another year for him to season. I think he is going to be an absolute stud pretty early on out of the gate. And I don't expect the Flyers to be a great team. I don't expect them to be in the playoff conversation like they were in last year. But I think some of these young guys, especially Michkov, are going to be really, really exciting to watch. So he's going to be my pick for the Calder Trophy. We're going to move on now to the Selke Trophy. Selke Trophy, for those that don't know, is the best defensive forward. I'm surprised they haven't already named it to the Patrice Bergeron Trophy because he won it so many times. Last year went to Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers. And I'm going to go a little bit off the grid here, but he's in a contract year, and I believe he finished second in this award. He was nominated for it in 22-23, but I'm going to go with Mitch Marner. Marner, it doesn't get quite enough credit for his defensive game, in my opinion. Obviously, there are some moments where he makes some mistakes. The David Pastrnak goal in Game 7 this past year was a pretty bad look, where it looks like he's kind of just gliding there, even though I don't really know if it was necessarily his man, but he didn't exactly look urgent trying to stop what would end up being the series winning goal, eliminating the Maple Leafs. But Marner plays a really solid 200-foot game, and the fact that he's in a contract here with Craig Berube now as head coach, I think some of that being instilled in him will propel him to a really good year and a pretty big payday come July 1st, 2025. So I'm going to take Marner to win the Selke Trophy. Honorable mention to Nico Hischier. I think Nico Hischier is a really good two-way forward as well. I could see him winning this award just as easily. Moving on now to the Norris Trophy. Last year went to Quinn Hughes. Finalists were Roman Yossi and Cale Makar. Obviously, I can't pick any of them because they've all won the award in the past. Same with fourth place finisher Adam Fox, sixth place finisher Victor Hedman. The highest finishing guy last year that I could take is Evan Bouchard, who finished in fifth, who's not a bad pick by any means. But I think the arguably the most underrated defenseman in the league is Miro Heiskanen. I've been a big fan of his game ever since he came into the league in 2018-19. He's a guy that you don't notice all the time, but that's because he's doing his job. He's preventing really good scoring opportunities, and he's just a really steady guy that any team would be super lucky to have. He's just the epitome of a reliable defenseman, and he also put up 54 points last year. So there's really no limits to Miro Heiskanen's game. I think he's going to be in for a career year this year, and I think he will be my pick for the Norris Trophy. We'll keep it going now over to the Vezina Trophy. Obviously, last year went to Connor Hellebuyck. He got his second. This is the example that I offered earlier. Thatcher Demko and Sergei Bobrovsky were the finalists, so I can't pick any of them. My pick is going to be a guy that recently just signed a big contract that got his potential successor shipped over to the Sharks. I'm going to take UC Saros. Saros has been a monster the past couple years. The Predators always seem to have really elite goaltending. Going from Pecorine to UC Saros as a fan of a Central Division rival is just not fair. The Predators obviously went all in this offseason, getting guys like Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, Brady Shea. They are in it to win it this year, and I think they're going to be backstopped by a really strong Vezina winning season from UC Saros, the first of what could be many. The fact that he's only 28, he could be one of the top five goalies in the league for a good part of the next 6-7 years. I really think highly of UC Saros, and he's going to get his first Vezina Trophy in 2025, which leaves us now with, I believe, the only real trophy left is the Hart Trophy. I'm not going to do Jack Adams. I'm not going to do Lady Byng. Obviously, I'm not even sure how they quantify or anything like that what the Lady Byng does. It just the according to Hockey Reference, it's just the player who quote exhibited the best type of sportsmanship and gentlemanly conduct combined with a high standard of playing ability, which is a really broad description of an award. But if you want to know, Jacob Slavin won it in 2024. Elias Pettersson was second. Austin Matthews third. Sure, good on them. It seems kind of hard to pick a guy for that. But if you want me to make a pick, just going down the list, we'll go with Brock Besser. We'll take Brock Besser coming back from the blood clot issue. Why not? We'll just take a flyer on someone. I think the Canucks will be good again this year. So Brock Besser, you'll win the Lady Byng this year. Moving on now, this is the big one, the Hart Trophy. Finalists last year, Nathan McKinnon, Nikita Kucherov, Connor McDavid. Can't pick any of them because not only are they finalists, they've also all won the award before. Same with fourth place Austin Matthews. Same with Sidney Crosby. Those are the only guys that got votes of any kind last year that have won it in the past. So guys like Taylor Hall didn't get any votes. Not sure if there's anyone else off the top of my head. I don't really think there is. Oh, I guess Leon Draisaitl. Did Leon Draisaitl not get any Hart votes? He did not. Strange. Okay, well, it doesn't matter because I can't pick him anyway. I've got a pick in mind, and it really comes down to whether or not he's healthy. I think this is a 100-point player if he's able to play even 75 games. I think his offensive ability is that good. He's just gotten better and better year in and year out. Give me Jack Hughes. The Devils were obviously ravaged by injuries at the beginning of or throughout the season last year. Hughes was no exception. He was playing out of his mind before that injury in St. Louis and really couldn't stay healthy for the rest of the season after that. But obviously, there's a lot to like with the Devils here. Bringing in Sheldon Keefe, who knows how to win in the regular season. I'm going to keep saying it. Keefe wins regular season games. Whatever else you have to say about him, he's going to get you the best record you can in the regular season as long as, you stay healthy, which is a big thing with the Devils. But they brought in guys like Brett Pesce. They brought in Jacob Markstrom. They looked really good in Prague. Not sure if they look good. The Sabres look bad, but I liked what I saw out of the Devils, and I think Jack Hughes is going to be in for the best season of his career, and I think he could easily work himself into Hart conversation like the number one overall pick he was, like the bordering on a generational talent. Some were saying he was back his draft year. I think Jack Hughes is one of the best offensive players in the league, and he's going to put it all together this year. Wouldn't be surprised to see 50 goals. Wouldn't be surprised to see 100, 110 points if healthy. So that'll be my pick. So that's going to wrap those up. I gave you my standings a couple videos back on how I think every division is going to shake out. So I'm not going to do a full playoff bubble, but I'll tell you this. I think the four teams in the conference finals every year, with the four-team realignment, it's been one team from each conference aside from the 2020 bubble and the 2021 playoffs, where obviously we had two Atlantic teams in the Stanley Cup final. Every other year, it's been one team from each division. You can look at the years 2013-14. It was Habs in the Atlantic, Rangers Metro, Blackhawks Central, Kings Pacific. Every single year, it's like this. Last year was no exception. You had the Panthers in the Atlantic. You had the Rangers again in the Metro. You had the Oilers in the Pacific, and you had the Stars in the Central. So my picks for each of those four divisions. In the Pacific, I'm going to go with the Vancouver Canucks. I think they get over the hump and get past the Oilers and make it to the conference finals. I know that's kind of a shocking pick. A lot of people have the Oilers winning the cup. And I got to tell you right now, I have no idea who I picked to win the cup. I think this year is about as wide open as it could possibly get, but that's going to be my pick. In the Central, I'm going to pick the Nashville Predators. I love what they did this offseason. If they're going to win it, this is going to be the year. Saros with a Vezina Trophy winning season, in my opinion. Andrew Brunette continuing to be a great coach. Barry Trotz continuing to make moves. Steven Stamkos turning back the clock. Jonathan Marchessault having a huge impact with guys like Philip Forsberg continuing to do their thing. Brady Shea helping out on the back end with a really solid D-core led by Roman Josi. I think they will at least make the conference finals. In the Atlantic Division, who could it be? I think you have to go with the Florida Panthers again. I know fatigue sets in after a while. Just look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, where they're at right now. But this team is absolutely built to win in the playoffs. You look at how they're set up. They've got skill. They've got defense. They've got a goaltender. They've got size. They've got that snarl. Everything you could ask for. Brian Burke's dream, basically, in a team. That's what the Florida Panthers are right now. I think they will get back to the conference finals pretty easily over the Bruins, over the Leafs, over whoever other wild card it could be in that division. In the Metropolitan, this might be the toughest one. I could see the Hurricanes, even though they had a tough offseason. We said the same thing with the Capitals in 2018. They're going to fall off. That year they end up winning the Cup. You could say the Rangers pretty easily. You could say the Devils, because I think they're going to bounce back if they stay healthy. That's a team that could easily go on a run and compete for a cup. I'm going to say the Devils. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to pick New Jersey. I don't think we're going to get a rematch of the conference finals. We almost got a rematch last year. The Hurricanes gave the Rangers all they can handle. We're not going to get Panthers Rangers 2.0. It's not going to turn into a Leafs Bruins situation. So I think we're going to get the Canucks, Predators, Panthers, and Devils competing in the conference finals. And that's all I'm going to give you. I don't even want to try to get into who I think is going to win the cup this year. This season is as wide open as it gets, and I just can't wait for the season to start. I'm going to hop back on here in just a moment to preview the St. Louis Blues this season. Now that the rosters are officially set, I got a lot of thoughts. I'm really curious to see how that season plays out, but can't wait for hockey season to get started. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be talking throughout the season, and we'll be back later. We'll talk again soon.
This is the Harry Loomis Show.